During an earlier video, I briefly introduced you to the Annotations tool. A number of these tools are useful for drawing attention to an area of interest on your canvas. For example, let's assume that we are showing the viewer the university's homepage and want to draw their attention to a certain item on the page. To gain access to the tools, start by clicking on Annotations on the left side of the page. You will see that the menu has a number of tabs at the top. Click on the leftmost tab to access the Callouts tool. You may introduce any of the callouts by clicking and dragging them from the menu to either the canvas or the timeline area. In the timeline, adjust the start and stop times for the callout by clicking and dragging on the left and right ends of the bar. The physical characteristics of the callout can be changed by either manipulating the object on the canvas or by changing the properties to the right of the canvas. Now, within the Annotations menu, let's choose the Arrows and Lines tab. These can also be click and dragged onto the canvas or timeline and then edited as needed. Moving 2 tabs over, let's check out the Special tab. Click and drag the Spotlight tool onto the canvas in the vicinity of the area of interest. You will see that, with the exception of the area of interest, the canvas becomes darker and less visible. Again, on the timeline, adjust the start and stop times. Try adjusting the dimensions of the object, either on the canvas or using the properties. In Properties, select the Annotation Properties tab. The Intensity slider allows you to alter the contrast between the area of interest and the rest of the canvas. Now I'm going to delete the spotlight and instead use another option. From the Blur and Highlight menu, click and drag the Highlight tool onto the canvas. Again, adjust the start and stop times, the position, and the dimensions as needed. If you want, on the Annotations Property tab of the Properties, you can change the color and opacity of the fill. Finally, let's check on the Sketch Motion Callouts tab on the Annotations menu. It's the next to last tab and it looks like a squiggly line. This may look a bit familiar. I introduced it in a previous video. From this menu you could, for example, draw a circle or a rectangle around an area of interest. Or you could draw an arrow that points toward the area. As an example, let's drag a circle onto the canvas. Position the circle in the desired area and adjust its width and height as needed. For reasons that I don't understand, I have a better success when I change dimensions in the Properties area than when I try to do it by clicking and dragging the hook points on the canvas. Remember that this is an animation in which the circle is drawn over a period of time. As a result, the circle will not be visible at the very beginning of the time period. As you click and drag the playhead to the right, the circle will appear. To change the time period needed to generate the circle, go to the Properties area, click on the Annotation Properties tab at the top, and edit the Draw Time field. Of course, if circles just aren't your thing, you can always use a rectangle or an arrow. It's entirely your call. In the next video, I'll talk about how to designate certain tools as favorites, in much the same way as you might do for a favorite website. It'll be a very short video, but I think it'll make your life easier.